Hey, you fucks. Thanks for, checking out the videos, showing a little bit of support. How about you take it to the next level and show us some love over there on Patreon, huh? Huh? Huh?
Yo, 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 what the fuck is up there, everybody out there on the YouTube social? Go by Papa Tikyo, coming to you live from another awesome Tikyo Rants, the one and only, the best Japan podcast, I guess you could say. I don't know, when I think of a podcast, I think of like really, really expensive, like, audio equipment, and somebody's, like, made a room in their house, or they've, like, rented a studio just to have the function of a podcast, and they're all serious. And meanwhile, I'm just a guy with a laptop and a microphone, and I use game footage, and I talk over it. Of course, this is part of many backlog of rants I'm doing at my house as backup rants to pump out, to keep the schedule, nice and clean and constant in between the uploads where I'm actually, like, outside going for a walk or, like, on my motorcycle or whatever. But this is really fun. I've been doing this since it's the end of January when I'm making this right now. Oops, that's a big faux pas. You never say when you made the video. Oh my god, oh lordy. But, it's like, this is kind of like a quote-unquote, I don't know if it's an evergreen topic, but it's definitely one of those topics where it's not Japan-related, but it's kind of Japan-related, and I'll get into that later on in the podcast or whatever this episode is. But yeah, the topic is, like, why do people look younger now than before? And I'm not talking about young people. I mean, like, older people. Why do they look younger than the previous generations of older people? And I'm talking about specifically people in their, like, late 30s, 40s, 20s kind of thing. Or not 20s, but, like, late 30s, 40s, 50s. And, yeah, to give you guys even more of a timestamp on this, right now, there's like two things. Okay, one thing happened in America, one thing happened in Japan. So in Japan, in Saitama Prefecture, Saitama, the northern New Jersey of above Tokyo, is they just had, like, a truck fall in a giant sinkhole in the middle of the street. Luckily, I don't think it was, like, super deep. I mean, it was still deep, but I think the guy was able to get out of there. All right, hopefully. They make cars like aluminum foil these days, so, like, they just crumble. Like, I swear, like, you get some guy who, like, it's one of those things where if, like, you got, like, not even a Super Saiyan, but just a strong guy, and he, like a kung fu dude, and he just pokes his finger through a door. Like, I mean, I don't know, I get it. Like, cars, it's expensive to make cars, and you want to, like, save money and blah, 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 but it's just, like, I grew up with, like, hard cars, like, I remember my first car that I had was a 1973 Coupe de Ville Classic Cadillac that I bought from my friend's dad for $500, because it was in perfect fine condition. It just was, it was it was rusty as shit, and it got 7 miles to the gallon city. But I didn't care because it was a wide-ass, beautiful car, and I loved it. Like, my friend's dad was a mechanic, so it just smelled like man sweat and, like, dust and like, just car oil and stuff. It was very good. Like, I don't know, it just felt like masculine, but anyway, yeah, cars these days, they fucking suck ass. They're just weak. I don't know, tell me, for all of you guys, I bet there's a couple car aficionados in the chat. Oh yeah, hi everybody in the premiere chat and everyone who's watching this. Tell me, guys, like, because I did a job at a car factory here as an interpreter, like, a while ago, when I was doing factory interpreting, aside from, like, candy stuff or whatever. I went to a candy factory, I went to a textiles factory, I went to a car factory, and it just looks like the car parts are just, it looks like metal molded with plastic. But anyway, yeah, that happened in Japan. A truck fell down into a hole, and I don't know if the guy got out yet, but yeah. Anyway, we're at the 4-minute point here, so let me just do a little self-promo spiel really quick. Thanks again, guys, for always checking out these videos. I know that there's a certain sect of people that are like, yeah, if he's not walking around in Japan, I don't give a shit about what he's saying. I don't want to hear this. It's ma'am. And yeah, I understand if those guys are here, and I apologize for the discrepancies. But in the meantime, thank you everybody who comes and checks these videos out. And big thank you to everybody who comments and likes the video, because it just helps with the algorithm gods. And yeah, just appreciate it. Also, you know, this is entirely fan funded by you guys, so a big shout out to everybody who goes over to patreon.com/TKOSam. The link is down below. We've got a bunch of different bonuses there, but you know, even if you don't sign up for big things like the Japanese lessons or the tours or the consultations, just signing up for $1, guys, it makes a big difference, just because it shows the numbers of supporters there, and also you get your name at the end of the video. You know, for the video scroll for the rants and the vlogs. Now, take in mind, I do have a backlog of these, though, so it might not appear immediately. But maybe I can change that by just putting down people's screen names at the bottom of the videos. If any of you guys are patrons listening to this, I used to put people's screen name at the bottom of my video description, and but I never heard anybody notice it or really say they liked it, so I just put them in the video only now. But yeah, I think that would be a great compromise for, like, since I upload video, I make videos ahead of time and then I release them, so you know, I think that might be a good compromise for people. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about that. And also, I was thinking putting the screen name of people that become a member on YouTube as well. Like, if you become a member of any tier or whatever, I'll put your name in the description and in the thing at the very end too. Because, like, I don't know. I feel like over the years people have kind of, like, it's not that they don't trust Patreon. It's just that they're lazy. They're like, well, why do I need to go over to Patreon and make an account when I could just blah blah blah? And I'm like, I get it, it's fine. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? Putting the people's names that do that too. Also, I want to start saying, like, thank you to people that do the super thanks in the comments section from now on, and I'll be including those in future rants as well. I've been taking screenshots of them, so if you want your name written out loud, or what do you call it, written out loud, just, like, you know, if you want me to say thanks in a video, just leave a super thanks, and I'm gonna include that in my rants from now on, because it's just cool. But yeah, let me know, guys. And also, yeah, thank you for everybody who becomes a member, who pushes the join button. You know, for right now, all you do is have access to a special part of my Discord, and you can use emojis and stuff. But yeah, if you guys are curious, like, you know, like, what is it? If you want to help out the channel, but you don't want to go to Patreon, that's a great compromise right there. And yeah, don't forget to follow me on social media and join the Discord, guys. I cannot emphasize this enough. The Discord, it's a little bit of a pain in the ass to, you have to write a self-intro and everything, but I don't know, it's like a really great, solid community over there, and I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, for a long time I had a Discord, but I didn't really interact with it that much. And just over the last, like, I'd say 2 or 3 years, I've really gotten into using the Discord, and basically it's kind of like a living bookmark for me. Like, if I find anything cool, I just share it there. And if you guys want to see me, or, like, see me getting angry at stupid people in text form, you can go over there. I go on some pretty angry rants, which are pretty funny. But yeah, let me know, and yeah, anyway, let's get to the topic at hand here, shall we? You know, let's stop playing with the dogs here, and let's get right into the topic, shall we? Okay, so yeah, I just had to pause the recording for a second just because I had moved the microphone, and unfortunately, I don't know if it's the microphone USB cable or the USB hub, but sometimes when I move the microphone slightly violently, it ruins the gain, or it resets it, and so it's like, oh, what the fuck, like, you know, it doesn't, it makes the microphone super sensitive. And I have, for all of you guys who want to start YouTube or want to start a podcast or whatever, one thing you got to remember is that when you have when you're using a microphone, like, the thing is you want to turn down the gain as much as possible, which you would think is the opposite, right? But the reason why is, like, well, look, if there's no other sounds happening, like, let's say you're just using headphones, then that's perfectly okay. But one thing that happens is that you know, if you are, like, right now I'm listening to music on my phone, because if you are recording in Premiere it gives you like a feedback loop so you can hear yourself talk. And I think this is how podcasts normally work. Like people wear headphones and then like you can hear yourself and like how you sound and your voice and stuff. And I guess if you're wearing headphones, it's okay because the microphone isn't picking it up. But I don't use headphones for my computer, which is funny though because I'm using a Blue Yeti mic, and the Blue Yeti mic has an actual audio headphone out part of it or whatever. So if I wanted to use wired headphones, not even Bluetooth, but if I wanted to use wired headphones, I could just plug it in here. I see Moist Critical does that sometimes, and that would get rid of the echo, and like your microphone could be far away from you. But yeah, if you don't want to have your microphone pick up anything else, or if you're like, you know, for example, you're playing a video game without headphones, you want to turn the gain down as low as possible so it can pick up your voice but it doesn't pick up the background stuff. But the problem with that is that if you get too close to the microphone, it makes your voice peak really bad and it just sucks. So meh. But anyway, that's some just technical stuff for you. It's funny, I asked Winston from ADV China like a while ago. I was like, do you guys do anything to like edit your audio? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you guys obviously cut the audio and and record it, but like, do you add any extra effects like dynamic processing or anything like that? And he's like, nah, I just upload as is. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like I know there's some podcasters that they love like fucking around with the sound design and everything, but for me, I'm like, well, I don't know if I have really like an audio radio voice. I think my voice has gotten deeper over the, it's weird, nobody tells you that you go through puberty twice kind of thing. You know, I mean, like Dave Chappelle, he's got way deeper voice than what he used to have, but it's weird. Like, you know, I always thought that like, okay, you hit puberty and then you get to like your mid-20s and then you just got the same voice for the rest of your life. And I don't know. I mean, maybe it has to do with diet, lifestyle, or something. But I didn't think your voice would change. You know, it's weird. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm just like I look at my old videos. Like, you know, some people like I think, despite Philip DeFranco being like a super leftist liberal, California baby, whiny pants. Now I still watch his news. I still watch his videos. You know, on a regular basis, even though I don't agree with a lot of his viewpoints. It's one of those things where it's like, I still respect certain parts about him, but obviously not the kind of narrative that he's trying to push. But the whole point is that like he brought up a good point where it's like he doesn't get rid of his old videos because he's cringe, right? Like a lot of my older videos, I made them members only, but the thing is just like, it's good if you're looking back on yourself and you don't think you were cringe then, that you haven't really grown as a person, right? And I think that's very important for us to remember. Like, this is another reason why I kind of wish I had kept a journal earlier on, because it helps you reflect on yourself. I mean, if I had done that, I probably would have had like 20 plus phone book sized journals by now. Yeah, that's one thing I wonder, like, what do people do? Like, you know, like, if they've been keeping journals forever, like, do they just have small books, or, like, they're very small? Like, my journals that I have, I'm using these old kanji notebooks that I got from my patrons originally, but I stopped sending them because they made the packages, like, heavier enough that it was, like, double the price to send it. And it's already, like, $7 to send a Patreon package to each one of you guys who signs up for the Japanese lessons, and then it just switched like $15. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not paying that much for shipping. Fuck that. And so I was just like, shit, I have like all these 20 plus notebooks I was gonna give to people. What am I gonna do? And I'm like, hey, I can start doing my journal here. I don't know, it's funny. I wonder if this journal is gonna turn into like a big like Game of Thrones book like they had, you know, like Ned Stark's gonna go through my journals and be like, wait a second, the Baratheons never had golden hair. What is going on here? But yeah, I don't know. It'll be funny. You know, like this week in my journal I have or not. When was it from? From like like a week and a half ago or something, I got a new Polaroid printer for my camera, because my Polaroid camera sucks. It's not really good quality. The color sucks, and it's always just makes the background black. It's really annoying. So what I've opted out for is I've gotten a Polaroid printer now. So I'll take a picture with my phone, you know, decent quality, and then I use Bluetooth to print this stuff out on the printer, and it looks so much better. But to test it out, for the first like 10 pictures, just to test it out, like the first load of film I put in there, I fucked it up. I think I accidentally, you know, when you're loading film into, especially if it's old film, if somebody like maybe like accidentally stepped on it or something, it's, you know, as soon as light hits the film, it ruins it. So each time I try to swap out the film, I need to make sure I'm doing it in a dark place, just in case those, anyway, the point is that the first 10 I put in there was ruined. It just nothing came out. So with the second round, I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna print out at least all 10 just to test it out and blah blah blah. And I just I just printed out a bunch of hot chick pictures, and I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's cool. And so my journal for the last 10 days has just been hot chicks on Instagram, and I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Ha, fuck yeah, bro. I mean, I'm not one for simping or putting women on a pedestal, but I just like looking at chicks, man. They're hot. You know, like, it's good. Like, I always wondered when I was younger, like, why do old guys like to lust over like swimsuit models versus porn or whatever? And it's like it's not so much about, and like I finally get it now. Like, porn is like, it's dirty. It's like, okay, we're doing this kind of thing. And I don't know, Jim, I was talking to my buddy Jim, and he brought up like a good point. It's like, you know, if you're fucking on a regular basis, you don't really need porn, because like you like the build up to sex, you know. And if you jerk off too much, then sex is gonna be weird for you, because you're used. I mean, like, if you're jerking off to porn, it's gonna be different because, you know, you're used to a different kind of stimulus, and porn isn't realistic sex, you know. It's like, it's what do you call it? It's like, it's kind of like clickbait sex, you know. It's like, it's to be the most maximum stimulus kind of, like, you know, sex video, versus what actual sex is, which is more, you know, it's two people and awkwardness and skittles, you know, all that shit. But yeah, Jim's like, I just don't want to see other dudes fucking chicks. Like, if it was my own porn where I was fucking a chick, that would be cool. But yeah, I'm not gonna like jerk off to other dudes fucking chicks. That's kind of gay. And I was like, Jim, you are a man of code. You are, you know, he's a southern gentleman of southern gentleman needs, you know. Jim's super based. We gotta appreciate Jim and thank him for his service. But yeah, anyway, I'm just it's been a good week. It's been fun. But yeah, anyway, that sinkhole in Saitama happened, and then Nick Mullen, unfortunately, he left the Adam Friedland show. I know that probably none of you guys give a shit, but you know, one of my viewers, Swimmer Nick, he's a streamer now. He kept fucking pushing me for so long to check out this podcast that he really loved by these three comedians. That was called Cumtown, and I swear it's my favorite podcast ever. You know, there's nothing like it. It's hilarious, and you know, long story short, Cumtown went on for a couple years, and then it stopped because one of the members left, and so the remaining two members, they made another podcast called The Adam Friedland Show, and that went on for about 90 episodes, and now Nick, the guy who, it's a different Nick, you know, Nick Mullen, the guy who basically started the show, the idea for the show, he said, yeah, we're gonna, you know, we're gonna change this, I think he's like, I'm gonna quit. And so, yeah, Nick Mullen quit the podcast this week, and it's just weird because, like, the Adam Friedland Show started right after Cumtown, like, finished. I don't remember, like, the exact interval of how long it took, but yeah, I mean, like, it was I feel like it was pretty quick, but yeah, now that Nick's gone, it's just like, wow, fuck, like, I don't know, I mean, to be fair, everybody kind of stuck around for Nick Mullen. Like, he was the glue that held everything together. He was the one that organized stuff, edited all the audio and stuff. Like, it was fun, you know, it was good. But anyway, yeah, those are two big things that happened this week while I'm recording this. But anyway, it's 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes into the fucking into the podcast now. We should get to the topic at hand, and the topic is, why does everybody look younger? Why do young people look older? You know, let's talk about it. I'm self-pissed here. I'm self-pissed. Yeah, it's like, I noticed that was like a trend a couple months ago where people were talking about like, hey, did you notice, like, why do older people look so much young compared to people back then? And, I think it's weird. Like, my demographic used to be like 20-year-olds, like 15 to 25-year-olds, and then I got older, and I guess I didn't pump out as good. I think, I always, this is the thing that I think a lot of people confuse. If they're still doing like Japan vlogs or something and they still have small amount of viewers, is that it's not that the landscape changed. It's just when you started doing Japan vlogs, there was like only 5 other people doing them. So of course you got a lot of attention. But now that there's literally like there's probably thousands of people that are doing Japan vlogs right now. And, thanks to that, like, you're not special anymore. So it's like, in order to compete with the attention market, you actually need to make better videos. And yeah, it's just like, for me, though, I acknowledge that, though. Like, I acknowledge that I don't think I ever really made any good videos. Like, I think it was always just kind of, like, experimental, bullshit, whatever. But I'm not like, that's why I never complained about like the lack of viewers or the lack of subscribers. Like right now, I'm working on a deficit where like every month I lose about 30 to 50 subscribers, and I'm guessing, it's not that big a deal because a lot of people that subscribed to me, they subscribed because I was part of the Raka Raka crew back when when I went to Australia, and back when I was in when I went to LA with them. So it's not that big of a surprise, since I'm not doing any Raka Raka related content anymore, people are just like, yeah, we don't care. But I'm okay with that, though. Like, it's not that big a deal. Like, I think that you got to figure out what kind of, there's two mentalities to this, right? You got to figure out what kind of content you want to make, and if you want to make it for money. Like, if you want to make content for money, then you just see what people are watching, and then you try to make your own version of that to be as, like, clickbaity as possible. It's not about you, it's about making money, it's about making a product, right? That's why, like, certain YouTubers, they'll just lean in on a niche or something versus, like, making the videos about them or whatever, and that's fine, too. But, or you just make videos for hobbies and stuff and you have fun. But a lot of people that start YouTube, they get dissuaded because they don't get immediate attention or feedback, And this is one of those things where it's like, you just need to keep making videos. Like, that's the whole thing. If you keep making videos, eventually you will slowly start gaining an audience over time. And, it's like, if you make videos that you like, then you'll be able to find. So, like, there's a guy who I watch who makes very cringe videos about Sonic being gay and like beating his siblings, and he's like a high school or something. It's from this guy called Tamers on YouTube. Tamers 12345, and he's just this. I think he only makes Little Pony, My Little Pony, like cringe videos now, but it's just one of the weirdest, surreal fucking series you're ever gonna see. And yeah, I support that guy on Patreon just because, well, Jim, my buddy Jim, is the one who introduced me to this guy's content. But it was just so surreal and so weird. Like, you can't tell if the guy is trolling or if he is, like, sincerely, like, mentally ill or something. Because if you're mentally ill, you're more like, you're not this consistent, But this guy, he's super consistent with his content. And, yeah, he's, like, found an audience of people that, that respect his weird fucking shit, And, yeah, it's like, for me, I don't even care if he's trolling or not anymore now. I just, I don't even watch the new stuff because it's all My Little Pony shit. But, it's still, like, I still appreciate the art. I still appreciate, the grind, you know, whatever you want to call it, the you know, the consistency, right? It's like the same thing with the Beatles. Like, I like some of their music, but I don't like all of their music. But I can respect the fact that they've worked so hard and so long, and they haven't quit doing their craft, right? And I feel like that's the same thing on my YouTube channel. It's like you gotta just you know, it's about being consistent, having low expectations when it comes to attention, and just being grateful for what you get. And then, you know, like for me, it's like I like learning how to use the YouTube system that they have in place. You know, I like going out and experiencing stuff, recording it, and then sharing it with you guys. I like giving a different perspective about Japan that other people might not have, right? And so I don't know if my perspective or my opinion is right. I don't even know if it's that interesting, but I want to share it regardless, right? And I think a lot of people that don't do YouTube or don't do online content, I think that's one thing that, like, they all kind of wish they could do, you know? Like, they all wish they could, they just want to be heard. Like, I don't think it's, maybe it's for attention, maybe it's not, but it's like, I did a reaction video where this guy built like an amazing house in the countryside in West Tokyo or something, and he used like rocks from Mount Fuji, and he used like all these local like materials and stuff to make his really cool house. And you know, like the guy who interviewed him, he goes around to all these people who have personal projects like that, and he talks to them. And you know, it's like at first I was like, how does this guy do that? Like, you know, how does he get all these people to fucking like they have all these houses? And it's like, wait a second, it's like same people who collect stuff, or they you know, they build stuff. It's like they do it because they like it, but also they want some recognition, you know? They want to be able to like share, like, hey, I made this cool shit, you know, like say it's cool. You don't have to think I'm cool, but just acknowledge that this shit is cool too, right? And yeah, I think that's the same thing with anybody with their online content. They just want to share their opinions and the stuff they like, and like express themselves creatively. And it's like, goddamn, this is already halfway through the fucking rant, and I didn't get to the topic yet. Anyway, oh god, I've been holding my thermos waiting to fucking take a sip, but I just kept going. You know, you just keep me hanging on. Yeah, dude, it was such bullshit. I fucking went to karaoke the other night, and yeah, I went to karaoke the other night. It's like I wanted to sing Kim Wilde's Kids in America, and they didn't have that song. They had the you know, you keep me hanging on, like, you know, that song from Trainspotting. Does something the something, babe. You know, if you want to hear the best version of that song, type in Alvin and the Chipmunks sludge remix or something. There's like a genre of music called sludge where they just slow down the songs to like painfully slow beats, and then they put some like industrial like beats behind it and stuff. It's fucking weird, but it's cool. It's hipster stuff, and it is mayhem. But hold on, let me get a sip of this. It's always 3 chugs. You've got to get the 3 chugs in you, mad lad. I'm telling you. But yeah. Anyway, we should. You know, it's so funny. Like I love doing these rants because I can just spiel about anything. But God, it's like, you know, I have these topics set up so that like you know, I'm like, okay, hey, if I have I don't know if I have a topic ready or whatever, but I'll just you know, like today's fucking what do you call it? Like today's podcast, I think it's just gonna be labeled like Dad's rambling about bullshit or something. Because I don't know if I could stay on topic for this, like because there's just so much random shit I want to talk about, you know, and like I don't know, like I feel like this has been like a very productive month for January, dude. Like I don't know, it's just like it's funny how when we have personal projects that we get to, it helps. Like when you get something that you really like and you get like what do you call it, you know, you get personal satisfaction out of completing a project or continuing a project, then everything else in life kind of lines up and falls into place. and you feel confident in yourself because you're doing something you genuinely like. And you know, I see these rants as like a great way to warm up my bigger YouTube content that I want to work on eventually. And that's more like where I go out and film stuff, and then I share it on, like I cut it up and then I share it online. Because despite being the dude that I am and looking like the guy that I am, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people want to see that. Like, they don't really care about, like, looking at me. I don't think I'm a bad-looking guy, but it's just, like, there's more hot sexual eye candy out there. And I think I could supplement that by having hot chicks in my videos as much as possible from now on. But, yeah, I mean, just, like, at the end of the day, though, it's, like, I want to work on that stuff, obviously, but doing these rants, doing like the reaction videos, it's such a great way to warm up and learn about these, like, what do you call it? Like, you know, the software, the function of everything, the flow of everything. It's just, it's so cool. It's like for example, take these rants, right? These rants are, like, currently we're listening to an at-home rant right now, right? And I wanted to do, like, up until now, or maybe up until this year, I don't know, maybe, like, up until 2024 or something, like, my rants were always, like, I walked outside, or, well, I mean, they were mostly on a motorcycle, right? I'd go outside, do a motorcycle rant, and at first they were, like, 20 to 30 minutes, and then at some point they turned into, like, hour-long episodes where I would just spiel and talk about whatever. I'd usually not stay on topic, and I'd be on a motorcycle. And don't get me wrong, like, I don't hate doing the rants on the motorcycle. I like it. It's just, it's the middle of January right now. It's fucking cold, and so I'm not really in the mood to get on a bike, especially, goddamn, like, my friend wants to meet me on Sunday, and it says that it's gonna rain this Sunday, and it's not that it's actually, I gotta look up the train schedule to see how to get there, but you know, my buddy wants to go meet me for Rocco's Pizza in OG Station, and I don't know what train. I guess I could take the train from Shinjuku all the way to Ikebukuro, or, God, I don't know, I have to look it up. But if I go by motorcycle, it's literally just like one road, like, to get there, right? Like, you just get on Yamate Dori or Meiji Dori or whatever, and you just go straight. You just keep going north until you get there. It's very simple, but you know, if you're taking the train, it's a little bit more complicated, and also the place isn't that close to the station. But anyway, I mean, that's one of the things too. You get spoiled, right? Like, by the comforts and convenience of daily life. And it's like when you have a motorcycle, you can go wherever you want. You don't need to. You're not stuck by trains. You can stay out all night if you want to. Like, you know, you don't need to pay for a taxi or anything. You can just go wherever you want. And yeah, that's another thing too. I want to bitch about is that all these places in Japan, they have car parking, but they don't have motorcycle parking. But then if you go to an empty car lot where you park your motorcycle in one parking space, they get super angry at you, even though you're paying extra money. Because, like, motorcycle parking is always cheaper than car parking. But if you're paying for car parking, why do they care? Like, is this an insurance issue or something? Can one of you guys explain to me? Like, I guess I'll ask ChatGPT, like, why do they make such a big deal if you park in a car parking lot with a motorcycle? Because, like, if it's really busy, I understand. But if it's, like, an empty car park, like, I found, I wanted to go to the park near OG. And there's, like, they have this giant big park near the pizza place. And they have a parking lot there, too. But it says, like, I looked it up on Google, and their front map says specifically, no motorcycles, only cars. And I'm like, motherfucker, it's always empty. I'll pay the car parking price. Like, what's the big fucking deal? You know, people always say, like, oh, you know, Japan's not that bad or whatever. And Japan, look, like, Japan is overall a very good country. But it's just, like, things like this where I'm trying to be a team player, but that's a stupid fucking thing they decided. And that's one of those things where if I'm only going there one time, I'm just going to go and park my bike anyway. What are they going to do? They're going to tow you for being a paying customer? Like, nah, fuck that. So it's like, you know, always ask for forgiveness, not permission, is my opinion. But, yeah, it's just, it's unfortunate because, like, when you want to be a team player and they're like, they don't give you really an option for that, right? But the whole point is tangents. Oh, they're so fun with the tangents, right? But it's just getting back to the topic of like, well, you know, by doing these rants though, I get to experiment with so much stuff, right? Like, for example, like I was saying earlier with like asking Winston if he edits the audio at all. I don't know if it would make that much of a difference because I don't feel like I have a radio voice. Like I don't know, my voice is kind of cringe. Like, I was talking to Jim, and Jim's like, my voice is kind of cringe. Shut up, bitch. But I was like, Jim, what are you talking about? You literally have, like, a voice for, like, radio. like, you don't have, you know, and you have a face for radio, too. Nah, no. But it's like, I don't know. I don't think my voice, or at least my speech pattern, I don't think it's very, I don't like it. But then again, I don't think anybody really likes the way they sound, right? But, yeah, I'm just saying that, like, if you have a cringe voice or like you have like a bitch ass like speech pattern, then no amount of crystallizing or like making your like any audio editing will make your voice sound like might make your voice sound better, but it's not gonna help, right? And so I don't know. What do you guys think? I know that there's like 2 people in the Premiere chat right now. What do you guys think of my voice? I personally don't like it, but you guys can tell me because I mean, like, if there really isn't, like, I mean, hell, people still watch this shit, right? So obviously there's not a big issue with my voice, right? But I'm just saying that, like, I was just thinking recently, like, should I look into doing more audio editing to make these audio files that I record at home sound more crisp and sexual, you know? And that's the whole thing, and it is, ma'am. It's funny, while I'm talking to you guys, I'm watching this modded version of Resident Evil Survivor called Madhouse Mod, and I don't know what the meaning is of that. I mean, like, it probably says it in the video description, but I'm guessing it's just a harder version of Resident Evil Gun Survivor or whatever. But man, this game, it had a lot of fucking enemies in there. Like, you actually fight the crocodile that was in Resident Evil 2. I don't remember fighting that in the original Gun Survivor game, but that's cool that they give you that option, you know? In Resident Evil 2, I always thought that was such a cop-out that you only kill the alligator with just, like, an explosive gas tank, and I'm like, come on, I wanted to actually fight that motherfucker, you know? Give me a challenge. Let me barrage them with bullets until he feels the pain of William Wallace. But yeah, anyway, I mean, the whole point is it's just like when you're doing a rant or when you're doing like a recording like this, it's always good to stay on topic, but at the same time, I really enjoy the fact that I can kind of spitball and freestyle when it comes to certain things, because I mean, the main point of all this is that, like, I want to create a backlog, so if for whatever reason I get busy with other stuff and I can't do a motorcycle rant, or I can't do a walking rant, or like an outdoor rant, that I have these as a backup just in case, so that I'm like, okay, well, fuck, this isn't as good as some people say it is, because they love seeing me interacting with Japan in the background for an hour, HD style, but it's better than nothing, right? Like, there's some YouTubers that I watch, and they don't have, like, an upload schedule. Like, they'll get, like, a big fucking, like, I was watching this chick that, she didn't go viral, but YouTube shared her stuff recently, on YouTube this week, called Sylvie the Queen, and she's some white chick, but she, like, wears blue contacts and bleaches her hair blonde, so she's got like a little bit of a Barbie complex or whatever you want to call it, but she's really interesting. She's very cool, and like, she's been on YouTube for a while, I guess, but YouTube finally shared one of her videos, and it's fucking cool, man. And so, like, she was smart though, like, she hadn't been uploading that much, but when that video got I mean, like, it's not viral, it's like 70,000 views, but that's still a lot of views, so she's just been uploading and pumping out content more and more, like, on a regular basis, like similar content to what that was. And yeah, it's like when you get that push, you know, you just keep going, you try to keep the momentum going. And like, anyway, I'm just saying that, like, it's easy to keep the momentum going when you know you have, like, a backup plan, and my backup plan is having all these rants already pre-made, all the thumbnails pre-made, and at least, like, a couple months worth of these pre-made, so then it's like, okay, what if I don't want to talk or whatever, then I'm like, yeah, I can just focus on the other YouTube stuff for a whole week, it's fine. It's always great when you... I think it's good when you're trying to start YouTube that you keep a consistent upload schedule. And some people, like, I watch Kuelo60 or Xchapter, and those guys, like, they make fun videos. I really like watching them, but they don't have an upload schedule, or at least not that I'm aware of. And so... like for me, it's like I have an upload schedule, and I've been keeping it for years now, where it's like 3 times a week, and then I've always had like kind of like a podcast, a fluff thing, and then like a vlog, right? And for me, it's just like I don't like Nick Mullen from Cumtown, from the Adam Friedland show. He left the Adam Friedland show, and he was saying how like people were like, "Can you just do any kind of podcast where you're just talking and sharing whatever with us? Like, we love interacting with you, we love hearing your thoughts." And he was just like, no, like, you know, he doesn't want to put out watered down fluff content just to make his main viewers happy. But the thing is like, he's such an interesting character. I could hear him talking about just like infomercials or some stupid shit like that, and I'd still be interested just because like he's an interesting guy. And I feel like but I get it, like what he was trying to convey is that like he doesn't want to get into the repeated cycle where he's just doing the bare minimum to what do you call it, the bare minimum in order to make the bare minimum of his audience happy. You know, like he wants to do bigger projects to get a bigger reach on people, to really show his chops, right? And this is funny because like this is the same criticism I had for Cracky Reads this year, is that like Cracky goes from Kick, he goes from Twitch to Kick to YouTube to Party. And for all of you guys who don't know, my buddy Cracky Reads, he's like a VR YouTuber, and these past couple months I was just stomping on him critically, because it's just like he doesn't want to change his content, or if he does, he wants to change it very slowly. And his channel or his content has basically come into like a clubhouse thing where he's not trying to get new viewers, he's not trying to grow, and he's just making content for the same 9 people that show up every stream, right? And it's like I don't know what his mentality is behind that, and I'm not hating, I'm just trying to like point out from my perspective that's what's happening with his stuff, right? And the thing is that like, you know, he quit Kick. He moved over to Kick and he got pretty good results, but then it started stagnating, and so instead of changing up his content or whatever, he got into like a big argument with the people who run Kick, and he basically got chased off of Kick. They were like, "Oh yeah, motherfucker, you really want to fuck with us? Like, stop complaining, bitch ass, be happy." And so he like ran, in my opinion, he ran away to YouTube. And but like the thing is that like you can't just jump from platform to platform if you have any audience, right? Like you need to build up that content, and he's been doing that content for years, but he didn't organize anything. He didn't make it easy for people, like new people, to find his stuff so he could grow his audience. And the thing of audiences is that it, you know, like I like Persona 5, right? But I'm like, you know, when I finish the game, I'm done, right? Like I'm not going back to it for a long time, right? And the thing is, the same thing of YouTube is that people, they get tired, they get bored, and like they'll move on to other content eventually. It doesn't matter how often you're pumping out content. If you're not pumping out something interesting and constantly getting new viewers in, you're dying, you know? It's like a shark. If you're not moving, you're dying, right? If you're not growing and moving, you're dying. And so, you know, that's the way I kind of view my growth on YouTube, is that like I don't like, again, like I'm doing this more as a way to be creatively fulfilled, and if I can get an audience, that's awesome. But at the same time, I don't mind learning how to play the game, but I'm gonna choose if I'm gonna play it or not, right? And again, like I don't complain about the lack of views or the lack of engagement, but like some people do, right? And the whole point is just like you've got to be willing to kind of put in the long haul work, right? And you got to be okay with like losing people that were interested in your old content if you're gonna switch it up. And you know, by doing this backlog of rants, I give myself peace of mind that, like, if I get busy with work or if I get busy with other things, that I'm like, okay, well, I have at least a couple months of backlog of stuff, so I don't need to work on that type of video. I can, now I can work on other stuff that I'm interested in working on. And like for me, it's like I've always wanted to make a food review or a food review series, but I was like, oh, no one's gonna watch that. I need to think of like super cool, unique, hip, awesome, blue, purple, yellow, mint, choice of a new generation content in order to like stand out from everybody. But for me, I'm like, you know what? If you can find your own little small niche genre of your like hardcore community, where you're just doing your own thing and you're making like enough money to get by, because I think like it's cool if you can rely on YouTube or Twitch for money, but I notice a lot of these people, they just spend all their cash. They don't save it, they don't invest it, and then they complain. They're like, they're like, I don't have any money anymore, blah blah. And I'm like, why didn't you just live cheap? And like, if I made like 50 grand or something, like stupid ridiculous, right? Like, and like some Twitch streamers, they make like $1 million a month, right? Like, this is like 50 grand is a drop in the bucket for them. But it's like, I would still live in the same place I live in. I would just put the money in the bank. And it's always funny because it's like I was watching this podcast episode of the Tim Ferriss podcast with this guy called Matt, I want to say Caucasus or Saucasus. I don't know. It's one of the most recent Tim Ferriss ones. But this guy, Matt something, I've never heard of him, but I saw a clip from the podcast that Tim had posted on Twitter, and it's like it was really good, and it got me interested. It's like basically talking about how AI is going to replace a lot of jobs, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. And as long as you train people to use the AI and shit. But anyway, it got me interested, and it's like a fucking 2-3 hour long podcast episode, but like it got me hooked. I was watching it in the background while doing some work at home, and I was able to stay focused the whole time. I mean, I still have like about 30 minutes of it left to do, but what's the point I'm getting at with this? It's just that you need to always be looking to expand your horizons and stuff. And I feel like a lot of people, they don't try to, like, this guy was saying how, I forgot how he made money. He said that he got into investing early on as a kid or whatever, right? But the whole point is that like the guy made a lot of money, and they were like, well, what did you do with that money? And he's like, oh, well, I had a lot of people support me up until I made that money, and so I just bought everybody houses. And it's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I just, I bought my friends and families their own houses. And I don't know, he didn't go into specifics. Like, I don't know if he became a landlord and he just it's like, pay me $100 a month or something and you can live here. But yeah, I love that idea. I'm always looking to, like, I'm not like look, I'm not gonna go to Congo and try to like liberate a bunch of slaves or whatever. I'm not gonna go that far, but for the people that helped me on my journey up until now or whatever, like, I'd love to pay it forward, Like, I always joked with one of my mods that was my ex-roommate, who he knows who he is. I don't think he watches this stuff anymore, but I always joke with him that it's like my goal would be getting so rich that I have my own little, like, it doesn't even need to be a penthouse, but like, 2-3 bedroom, like, big high-rise apartment in Tokyo, and then I just move in like 2 of my friends, and I'm like, look, you pay me like for the utilities every month or something, and I'm gonna give you a whole year to do whatever you want, rent free. You don't need to spend any rent, and you can quit your job and do something full time or whatever, and I got you. Or it's just like, or you can live with me for a year rent free, and you can save all that money on rent, and then you can move or whatever. But it's like, I'd love to, I think that would be the first step, right? Like, give your real true close friends like their own chance to save money, and if you can do that by having them live with you, or you just buy them a fucking condo or a house, like, that's just, I don't know, that's awesome. It's like, here, all you gotta do is pay the property tax on it, you're good. Like, from now on, you're like, this is my gift to you because you're awesome. And I don't know, I love the idea of that. I love the idea of just helping a friend like that. And because it's like, you start by taking care of the people. You start by taking care of yourself, and then taking care of the people around you. And there you go, right? Like I remember when like, you know, when my you know, and I don't really want to like talk about this so much because like I don't want that to be like a topic of discussion, but it's like when my mom died, there was like money that like I could inherit or something, right? But I just told my younger brother, I was like, I don't want that money. He's like, what should we do with the money? I'm like, you keep it. And he's like, why? I'm like, I don't want you to ever ask me to borrow money. And like I was like, if you're okay, I'm happy that you're okay, right? Like, you know, that's all that matters to me, right? And I mean, like, that's the thing, right? I mean, of course it's not my money, right? But it's just like if you can help out the people that you care about in some way, it's a good feeling, right? It's a really good feeling. And you know, that's one of the things too that I wanted to do in Japan. Like, I wanted to become a volunteer, specifically because I've already done homeless volunteering only twice, but like just at like a soup kitchen kind of thing. But I don't know, I'd prefer to do it at like an orphanage or like some like a foster home or something where it's just like I had a guy like that that was kind of like Big Brother program kind of thing when I was in foster care. And he would just take me out to, like, you know, go eat some food, and like we'd go watch a movie or something. And he was just a guy that I could talk to, you know. And like, you can't obviously be a dad to all these kids, but it's just like sometimes the kids knowing that they have somebody there that's got their back, it makes a big difference, at least in my opinion. But the thing is, with the orphanages, there's none like in Tokyo. The only ones that I found they're in Saitama or like very, very west Tokyo, or very, very deep Kanagawa, or very cheap or like deep Chiba. And if you go there, it's not like a one time a week thing. Like, it's like a year. Like, you have to, I don't know if you have to sign a contract, but there's obviously something where it's like you can't not do this for a short time. Like, you have to at least commit to like a year or two, and you have to be there every week, and like regardless, like, you know, like because, you know, it's basically like they don't want people just dipping in and out. And I think they have a lot of people that just dipped in thinking it was cool, but then they're like, oh shit, this is actually like an obligation. Fuck. And I'm just saying, if I could find an orphanage that was closer, I feel like I could commit to that like once a week thing a lot more easily than commuting 2 hours out of my way each way to go and you know, hang out with these kids, you know. And but, you know, who knows? Maybe in the future I'll do something like that. But, I mean, the whole point is, it's just like you do things. It's like the ninja, right? I was trying to tell these high school kids during one of these event jobs that I had, where it's like you got to find the balance of, I mean, like there's there's like the guru balance of like health, wealth, and love, right? You got to make sure you got those, right? And like even Casey Neistat says that it's like you get your work balance, you get your family balance, and he's like, I've definitely got the work balance down. Yeah, and it's like, but for me, it's three ninjas, you know, a grandpa, where it's like, you know, the triangle of the ninja, right? There's the mind, body, and spirit, you know, that's the thing. And it's like, for mind, you have things that stimulate your mind. Like for me, like it's so funny, I was never a puzzle guy. I was always kind of like, puzzles are lame and they're me, you know, but I like puzzles now. And like one of the things that I did for these rants, again, like doing these rants and playing around with these, it's so fun because you can you know, like it gives me a chance to try new things without a hard obligation of it being perfect, right? Like for example, like to get footage to talk over for these videos, like I went online, and at first I was looking for like Japan walking videos, and then like Japan motorcycle videos, and then like other country walking videos, and then like B-roll of just like, you know, like the ocean, like a static ocean or whatever, a river thing, or like a webcam footage or something. And then it's like video game footage, video game walking footage, video game ambience. And then I was, you know, I love watching the Cumtown podcast clips, and I noticed that a lot of those guys, they'll have like board games or like some kind of like strategy game where you can look at it and you don't really know what's going on, but you know something's going on. And then you know, and I'm like, shit, wait. And so like I started looking for like people playing board games, and I couldn't really find anybody doing like long board games where it's just like a regular video. It's always like, you know, just like every fucking 5 seconds it's a camera switch like an MTV show, and it's just like it's hard to watch that. You know, like if you watch that you want to hear the sound, right? And so eventually I found like people playing shogi or like Go or like Japanese board games where it's just simply showing that, and I'm like, oh fuck, I could use that as a background video and stuff. And also it's just like in the past when one of my viewers, Joey, big shout out to my boy Joey, you know, I had an editor in the, you know, back in the day, named the Andy Son. Shout out to Andy Son, you know, the long time no shout out to the Andy Son, but he's doing good. Like, you know, I had the Andy Son editing for me for a while, and then I had this guy named Joey who edited for, he's in med school now though. Hey, big shout out to Joey going to med school, being a big boy. But he did these rants for a long time. And you know, one of the cool things is that he would get like footage of random stuff, and then he would put it on top of the video. And like when I'm like for right now, like this is just a random spiely the whatever the stuff rant. I don't, you know, this was supposed to be about why do old people look so young, and then it just went off on a tangent and then just didn't stop. But you know, for other rants where I'm actually talking about something specific, like for example, I'm gonna do a whole series on Japanese TV shows, Japanese movies, Japanese anime, Japanese video games, Japanese comics, and like those are like, god dude, like I could add like 10 plus episodes to like each one of those series easily, right? And so for when I'm talking about things that are specific like that, like movie reviews or something, I'm gonna try to add pictures to it each time to kind of give some context, right? And that's the thing. You know, another reason why I'm enjoying like experimenting with these rants, because it's like you know, I'm doing all of this on a like almost 10-year-old laptop. Kind of, it's pretty old, but it works fine, you know, like for browsing games, whatever, it works fine. But it's just for this for editing, right? Like especially if you're doing like a lot of big files in one project, it's very laggy when you're trying to edit that. And so like that's like another thing that's cool. It's like, you know, cracking your knuckles, getting yourself warmed up, right? Dipping your toe in the pool kind of thing. It's like because of that I'm like, oh shit, I just realized like I should just make a new editing file, and it'll load a lot faster. It'll be easier to edit because it doesn't have like 2 years worth of video files still embedded in like the temporary folder or whatever of this. Okay, yeah, that's cool. And yeah, like so I'm like editing these in a brand new rants 2025 file, and like everything's just so much faster because it's not loading up all this data that I put in there before. Like that was like a 400 megabyte editing file, and if any of you guys edit videos, you know how big that file is just for an editing file. So it's kind of like spring cleaning of the editing and like creating brain when it comes to video stuff, and I like it a lot. And I don't know, it's cool, it's fun to like I don't know, I mean, like, again, like, at the end of the day, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, wanting to try to build an audience and everything, but the most important thing is, like, you need to be congruent about what you want, and as long as you're congruent with that, that's fine. Like, for example, like, I'm not, like, spilling the beans here, like, Oriental Pearls talked about this in her comment section and in her live streams quite a bit, where it's, like, sometimes she feels stuck because like her channel got famous for the language reaction videos that she does, where she's like, oh, I'm a white chick who speaks Asian languages, and like, you know, and she's like, you can only do those for so long, right? And she wants to do other content, but she knows that when she does other content, it's a big 50-50 on if people will watch it or not. And so she doesn't, like, you know, she's got a successful channel, so, like, she wants to keep making that channel grow. Like, she doesn't care about having a side channel or something, right? Like, she wants to, like, you know, even if it's content that she might not want to do, like making money and getting views is her top priority. So even if she doesn't want to make a certain type of video, she's motivated to keep going like that. And that's, you know, so if you want to go that direction, that's fine. And you know, everyone says it changes, like your values or your priorities change when you get that first big YouTube paycheck. But I don't know, man. You know, I think that, like, health, you know, maybe it would change for me if I got a big YouTube paycheck. But I think for right now, I'm content with doing this for the moment, because, you know, as long as Godzilla doesn't attack Japan for a bit, you know, knock on wood, right? Gojira, that nothing like that happens. You still got plenty of time to move and create and just try new things, and that's what's most important. But anyway, we're at the end of this fucking thing. Oh my god, we're at the end of this. I can't believe I've been spieling randomly for this is the first one of 2025 where I stayed off topic the whole time. And I think it's just simply like I have notes for all of these rants, and I have not fulfilled these notes, so I need to write down these notes, I guess, before I do another rant tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, guys, are you still here in the chat? Say hello. Don't forget to smash like button, hit that subscribe bell and subscribe button, you know, to get notified. And I guess I'll be posting the URL for the live stream soon. And yeah, guys, just tell me, what did you think about today's format for the channel, where I was just rambling and kind of staying off topic and just going all over the place? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below, all two of you who watch this channel. But anyway, yeah, guys, thanks always for the love and support, and I will see you guys on the next one. And like always, stay black. Otsukaresama deshita. Yeah, buddy.